here's something that we'll learn the hard way, and many that I learned the hard way, and that many of other church planters learned the hard way, is there's different kind of launch team members. And my assumption is that everybody's going to love the vision that God's given me as much as I do. And the problem is that no one ever does. The guy that God gave the vision to launch this new church, no one else will have the passion and the heart for that vision more than you and your wife. Some people will get close, but no one will have as much. And to assume that people, now sometimes you'll be surprised at how much people are bought into this, and they will, they'll share with you and how this, some phrase that you have about what our church is like, they will fully bought into, we're a church where no perfect people are allowed. And they'll say, that's what changed my life, was I felt like I could come be a part of a church that I could, that in spite of my flaws, I could come and be a part of, or whatever. And you'll be surprised, but no one gets it like you do. And so here's the at least 4 different kinds of launch team members. And I think they're all valid, growing towards that number of 40 that you want on opening day, but just to realize that they're not all the same. So one I would call ministry partners. And those are the ones that are the all-in people, that you can count on them. They're going to be there, even if they don't sign a covenant, they're all in. You know that. They're the kind of people that for some church planters, when they move to a different community, whether it's within their own region, or they move out of region to start a new church, people might even think about moving with them. And so they're all in if they would do that. And so, or people that you would consider almost like staff at your church, because of the level of commitment and ownership of the vision that you've got. So those are ministry partners. But the problem is a lot of church planters thinks everybody is at that level, and they get surprised. Another one is, which is the best ones, is your target locals. And what I mean by that is those people that join your launch team that are exactly who you're trying to reach in your church. And so it's that family down the street that says, oh, we've been looking to be part of faith community, and yours is going to be getting started. We want to be a part of it. And you're like, this is awesome. This is exactly why we wanted to plant this church. But there's a couple other kind that you may have. One is what we would call missionaries that are useful, and or scaffolding is what some church plants will call this. And so you can invite some believers from a nearby church to come help you for a season to help start your church. And again, I think it needs to be time-based. Will you come and help us for 6 months? Or will you come help us for 12 months to help us launch our church? And you can celebrate them. You need to define what it means to be part of your launch team and all that. But to invite people to be missionaries to help you do that. And I think there's a biblical precedent for that. In some ways, if you think about the book of Acts and the way the description of how the churches partnered together, they would send money from one church to another to help it out, or they would send some people or some leaders or whatever. As there was some collaboration among churches during the growth of the early church. And so this idea of missionaries with his people, or even as we were talking about yesterday, Patrick, in Belgium, that you can invite other churches in your region to help you start your church financially. That's very biblical, that we'd see from the book of Acts. And so, but you can invite, if you need to get to 40 and you're only going to get to 25 or 30, you can go find another 6, 8, 10 people from other churches that say, you know what, we'll come and be a part of that for a year. I've got really close friends that now live down in Florida. They planted a church in North Carolina and did great. And eventually they left that church for a variety of reasons, but they've now been missionaries at about 7 or 8 church plants, where they will go, they will hear about a new church getting started. And because they know what this looks like and feels like, they will go give a year to this new church plant and this church planter. And they tell them, we're only going to be here for a year. And they come and they serve and they work hard and they give. And that helps create stability and momentum and horsepower for that new church getting started. But always do that in concert with their pastor. I never want their pastor to be surprised that I'm borrowing someone from their church for 6 months or 12 months, because that can create some competition or ill will. But if you say, hey, or have them tell them, or at least at the very least, make sure they're telling and informing their pastor that I'm going to help this church plant down the road once a month for 6 months, whatever. The last one is the disappointing one, is I don't know, disappointing, but the surprise one is there are some people that are looking for a great church to be a part of. They get connected to yours pre-launch, but you think they're ministry partners because they smile and nod at everything you say. But at the end of the day, they're on the front end of the discipleship curve, and they're really just going to be attenders uh, on opening day, and they've got nothing to do between now and then other than show up to your events and to your Tuesday night launch team meetings or whatever it is. And because they keep showing up, you think that they are really in and that they're really on board spiritually and commitment level. And then on opening day, they just kind of fade into your crowd at large. And you kind of get surprised because you think that they're way more committed than they are. And so I want to tell you that on front, that there's likely going to be a few of those people that are coming just because you've got something for them to come to now, versus what you don't have when you have your larger public opening in a few months. So there's different kinds, and that's okay. But all of them can do something on opening day, and even be paired where you've got a mentor and apprentice, where you're starting to model what multiplication of leaders looks like in your church. Is try and get two people in every role so that they can work together and learn from each other, and one of them can then teach the next one on how to do it.